Hello and welcome to another session of the My Solo 401k Financial Daily Webinar Series. Thank you so much for joining. If you have questions or topics that you wish to discuss, please chat that over now so that we can be sure to get to your questions or topics. As always, the presentation is being provided for educational purposes only and should not be construed as tax, legal, or investment advice, nor is a solicitation. When making an investment decision, please consult with your tax attorney and financial professional. Again, welcome to your daily Solo 401k webinar and Q&A session with My Solo 401k Financial, where we help you to stop overpaying taxes and start building real retirement wealth. Today's topic: how to upgrade an ETRADE Solo 401k to allow 2025 Mega Backdoor Roth contributions. This is your chance to get answers. Please use the chat now to ask questions on today's topic or anything else. Again, please chat them over now so that we can be sure to get to them all. Let's get started. So I'd like to start out with the Solo 401k eligibility, as it's really the foundation of being able to participate in a Solo 401k and be able to take advantage of the Mega Backdoor Roth, as well as other advanced features. So in order to be eligible to set up a Solo 401k, there's really two requirements. One is you need to be self-employed. So you need to report earned self-employment income on your taxes. So for example, in the case of a sole proprietorship, that would be income reported on Schedule C of the sole proprietorship. In the case of a S corporation, that would be W-2 wages that you receive from the S corporation. In the case of a partnership, that would be income reported on line 14 of the K-1 from the partnership. Now, the other piece of the eligibility criteria is that there cannot be any non-owner, non-spouse, full-time W-2 employees working for any business owned by you or a spouse, if any. Now, for this conversation, we're assuming that you already have an individual 401k or a solo 401k at E-Trade, or even another brokerage like Fidelity or Schwab. The concepts will still apply. So it's very common with our client base that customers will start out with the basic plan at E-Trade or somewhere else, and then they'll want to take advantage of the advanced service or features of our plan. For example, the ability to make Mega Backdoor Roth Solo 401k contributions. So it's helpful to understand that a Solo 401k is really a legal entity. It's the documents that create it, and it's the documents that dictate what you're allowed to do with your Solo 401k. So when you open up a basic Solo 401k plan at E-Trade, what you can do is dictated by E-Trade Solo 401k plan documents. So for example, E-Trade Solo 401k plan documents do not allow you to make Mega Backdoor Roth contributions, because in order to be able to make Mega Backdoor Roth contributions, your documents need to allow for two types of transactions. Number one, your documents need to allow you to make voluntary after-tax contributions. That's step one of the Mega Backdoor Roth strategy. And then your documents need to allow you to transfer those voluntary after-tax Solo 401k funds either to a Roth Solo 401k or a Roth IRA. Now, if you have that basic Solo 401k from E-Trade, you can upgrade your Solo 401k to an advanced plan like the one offered by My Solo 401k Financial, and still keep your investments, etc., at E-Trade, but be able to make those Mega Backdoor Roth contributions or access the other features of a plan offered by my solo 401k, including the ability to invest in alternative investments or the ability to take a 401k loan. So the process to upgrade your basic vanilla solo 401k at ETRADE to an advanced solo 401k plan offered by my solo 401k Financial is referred to as a restatement. So you could think of it as a cut and paste, going back to that concept and that understanding that a solo 401k is really a legal entity. So it's the documents that create it. So you can cut out those basic limiting E-Trade solo 401k plan documents and replace them with the advanced solo 401k plan documents provided by my solo 401k Financial. So in that case, it's not as if you're shutting down your basic solo 401k plan at E-Trade and starting a new solo 401k plan with my solo 401k Financial. Instead, your existing solo 401k plan will continue, but now it'll be governed by our solo 401k plan documents, those offered by my solo 401k Financial, that will allow you to do whatever you're looking to do, whether it's making mega backdoor Roth contributions or taking a 401k loan or investing in alternative investments, etc. Now, when you restate a vanilla basic solo 401k plan, new accounts will need to be established. So even though E-Trade offers their basic vanilla plan, they'll still open up accounts for people that bring their own plan documents. So if you want to continue to have your investments and have your accounts at E-Trade, you can certainly do that. And we will help you open up those new accounts at E-Trade, which it's noteworthy that those new accounts at E-Trade are free. In other words, E-Trade doesn't charge anything to open up those accounts. There's no maintenance fee, etc. Then we'll help you transfer the cash and assets from the pre-existing accounts that you had at E-Trade for your individual 401k, your basic solo 401k plan provided by E-Trade, to the new accounts at E-Trade that are governed by our solo 401k plan documents. And that transfer from the pre-existing basic solo 401k to the new accounts that are governed by the third-party plan provided by my solo 401k Financial, that transfer is not taxable, it's not reportable. It's just going from one account for the pre-existing plan to a new account for the restated version of the same plan. Now, if you set up a solo 401k at E-Trade on or before December 31st of 2025, you can still upgrade that basic plan at E-Trade to one offered by my solo 401k Financial, which is going to allow you to make mega backdoor Roth contributions for 2025. In other words, even though it's now in 2026, since the plan was established on or before December 31st, 2025, you already met the solo 401k December 31st establishment deadline, which would therefore allow you to make all types of contributions for 2025 by your business tax return deadline, including any timely filed extension. And so if you upgrade the plan to our plan here in 2026, now you're going to be able to make those mega backdoor Roth contributions for 2025 because now you have a plan document that allows you to do that. So those mega backdoor Roth contribution limits are very high, right? Relatively speaking, especially compared to Roth IRA contribution limits. The mega backdoor Roth contribution limits are 10 times the Roth IRA contribution limits. And they're several times more than even the Roth 401k contribution limits. For example, for 2025, one can contribute up to $70,000 per person as a mega backdoor Roth contribution for 2025. And even additional contributions can be made as catch-up contributions or super catch-up contributions for those that are age 50 or older and have the earned self-employment income to justify those contributions. So the process to make a mega backdoor Roth contribution is a two-step process. Remember, I stated that you need to have the documents that allow for both steps. So the first step is to make what's called a voluntary after-tax contribution. Now, that voluntary after-tax contribution limit is much higher than your standard Roth solo 401k contribution limit. So the Roth solo 401k contribution limit is the employee limit, which, for example, for 2025 is 23,500 or more if you're age 50 or older. Whereas the voluntary after-tax contribution limit is the overall limit. So let's assume that we have a 45-year-old S corporation owner who has $100,000 of W-2 wages from their self-employed business taxed as an S corporation. So this individual would be able to make an employee contribution of 23,500. And if they've got a plan provided by my solo 401k financial, they can make that contribution as a Roth contribution. That's assuming, of course, that they don't make any other contributions to another plan, like a day job 401k plan. And then if they have a plan like the one offered by my solo 401k financial, they can make an additional voluntary after-tax contribution of $46,500. That's assuming, of course, that they don't make any other contributions to the solo 401k, because the sum of the employee, employer, in this case, which would be zero, and voluntary after-tax contributions cannot exceed the lesser of their self-employment income, which in this case is $100,000 of W-2 wages from their S corp, or the overall limit, which they would meet in this case, because between the employee Roth and the voluntary after-tax, they would have contributed $70,000. They can then transfer those voluntary after-tax contributions of $46,500 either to a Roth solo 401k or a Roth IRA. So that's the second step of the Mega Backdoor Roth strategy. The first step is to take advantage of the higher contribution limits. The second step is to move the funds over to a Roth account so that the future gains can have that potential for tax-free growth. Because just like any other gains in a Roth account, they're going to have that tax-free growth potential. Now, additional benefits of upgrading that basic E-Trade Solo 401k plan to one offered by my Solo 401k Financial include the fact that now the plan will qualify the self-employed individual to claim $1,500 in Solo 401k tax credits. That's $500 per year for 3 consecutive years. So those are tax credits, not tax deductions. So it's a dollar for dollar reduction in the self-employed individual's tax liability. So that's going to more than cover our fees for the first 7 years. We charge $650, which includes the $525 establishment fee, plus the first $125 annual fee. Then starting 12 months later, we charge our $125 annual fee that covers the second year. And it's noteworthy that those fees are totally flat. In other words, they don't go up if the value of the plan asset increases. They don't go up based on the solo 401k support that's needed. And so that will, again, more than cover our fees for the first 7 years. Additional benefits include the fact that our plan allows the self-employed individual, the solopreneur, to borrow from their solo 401k. Specifically, they can borrow up to 50% of the balance, not to exceed $50,000. And that's not going to be subject to taxes or penalties as long as it's properly documented. And we handle those solo 401k loan documents for no additional charge, as well as long as it's paid back according to the payment schedule. So the payment schedule will require that the loan is paid back in monthly or quarterly payments, equal payments of principal and interest. The interest rate is prime plus 1% or a CD rate plus 2%, with those payments spread over a 5-year term. It's also noteworthy that additional benefits include investment freedom. So, for example, our plan would allow for not only traditional brokerage type investments like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, etc., but also allows for true diversification, including investing in real estate, private equity, private stock, precious metals, cryptocurrency, etc. Moreover, in addition to those benefits, we also provide ongoing compliance support for the solo 401k, which of course is going to include mandatory plan updates and amendments. So as the law changes, we're going to proactively reach out to our customers to provide the updated plan documents. And then depending on what's going on with the plan, we also would provide additional compliance support. For example, once the value of the solo 401k plan, including the value of any defined benefit plan that might be sponsored by the solopreneur, exceeds $250,000, the client or the advisors just have to let us know that the asset value exceeds $250,000, so we can add the plan to the queue to guide it through the 5500EZ filing process, where we will end up preparing the 5500EZ in the electronic filing system so that it can be filed electronically. We then assign it to the client for signature. Then we go back into the electronic filing system to submit the form and then send a courtesy copy to the client. It's also noteworthy that for those who are making Mega Backdoor Roth contributions, that's a strategy that's going to require reporting on a Form 1099-R. So let's go back again to remind ourselves that it's a two-step process when you make a Mega Backdoor Roth contribution. The first step is to make the voluntary after-tax contribution. Now, contributions to a solo 401k plan are not reportable by the plan. In addition, making voluntary after-tax contributions does not need to be reported on the personal tax return or the business tax return. But that second step, when those voluntary after-tax solo 401k funds are moved to a Roth solo 401k or a Roth IRA, that would need to be reported on a Form 1099-R. And we'll handle that 1099-R for no additional charge. Customers or their advisors just have to let us know after one of those after-tax to Roth transfers by submitting a form on our website. You can submit it 24/7 at mysolo4001k.net/forms. That's how we capture the information we need to prepare the 1099-R, which we handle for no additional charge. So ultimately, the key takeaway here is that if you are self-employed and you have a basic solo 401k plan at ETRADE, you can upgrade your plan to the one provided by my solo 401k Financial to take advantage of the advanced service and features, but still keep your investments in accounts at ETRADE, as well as have access to those advanced service and features, whether it's Mega Backdoor Roth solo 401k contributions, the ability to take 401k loans, or invest in alternative investments, as well as the fact that the plan will now make the self-employed individual eligible to claim $1,500 in solo 401k tax credits. Of course, it's going to make sense to sign up early. So even though there is time, it's going to make sense to sign up now to give yourself time to update the plan documents, open up the new accounts for the restated plan, determine how much you'll contribute for 2025, and make those contributions by your business tax return deadline, including any timely filed extension. So to get started, you can sign up quickly and easily at mysolo4001k.net. Just click on open account, then click on get started under solo 401k. That'll take you to our quick 1-minute application where we're gathering straightforward information that we would need to prepare the solo 401k plan documents. So once the application is submitted and payment is made, we will prepare those plan documents within the same business day. And we send an email out with a link to the secure portal so that you can access those documents that are needed to restate your plan. And then from there, we guide you through the process to open up accounts for the restated plan, transfer over the cash and assets, make contributions, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, thank you so much for checking out today's session. We certainly appreciate it. And we would ask you to please like this video if it's helping you to feel more confident about your future. That will tell the platform that the content is valuable, which will help others like you, other solopreneurs, other advisors, find it. Others like you might be needing to catch up on their retirement savings. So We'd really appreciate that if you would like the video, whether you're on LinkedIn or YouTube or X or Instagram. We also invite you to subscribe. Subscribing guarantees that you'll get notifications of all of our crucial content that we deliver every day to help you secure your retirement. We were on earlier today at 1 p.m. Eastern. Now we're back at 4 p.m. Eastern. So subscribe, you get notifications of what we come to share so you can join and hear the content that we come to share, come and ask questions, etc. All right, well, that's it for today's solo 401k session. Thank you so much for investing your time with us. Your time is valuable and your retirement future is worth it. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe so we can keep building this solo 401k community. We'll be back here tomorrow with more crucial content to help you secure your retirement.